Want to hear some cope? Some huge cope.
Sure. Okay.
I
Let's hear
love
some coke.
cope, by the way, because this is
Love the coke.
fantastic.
Yep.
Um, and also it involves a certain someone that we've had some very strong opinions about in the games industry.
Oh.
So let's talk about it. Because the
Okay.
writer of 28 Days Later says he thinks The Last of Us was better written than his movie.
Now, when he says The Last of Us, does he mean the TV show or the
Oh, we're
game?
getting to that. We're getting to
Okay. Okay.
it.
Cause you know,
And also, I think this is quite funny as well because
my
if you've
lord, I
seen,
would be player four.
look, if you've seen 28 Days Later and The
Yeah.
Last of Us,
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
what I want to know.
and
I
this
want to
is why I
know.
think this is funny. In a discussion between 28 Days Later writer Alex Garland and Naughty Dog studio head Neil Druckmann on Sony's official YouTube channel, Garland told Druckmann that he took some influence from games like The Last of Us when writing the story for his upcoming film 28 years later.
Why?
How
Why?
can you? Sorry, no, don't think so, because I'm pretty sure you wrote 28 Days Later long before The Last of Us even came out, and you should be
Yeah. What
basing
is
that
this?
on the universe that was already created.
Yeah. What is this whole Neil Suckman? They're just all gonna.
Episode title Neil Suckman.
We have butchered his name so many times on this show.
What,
Um.
including Neil Cuckman, Neil
Yeah.
Suckman.
We are not fond of this person. For those who don't know and don't know who he is a supreme narcissist and takes credit for everything that Naughty Dog has done, which is not appropriate.
No, because
Because
he was a co-writer on The Last of Us,
yeah, and some
and also a co-writer on The Last of Us Part 2, which was a
yeah,
steaming pile of dog doo-doo.
yes, it was, and I'm probably as much as I loved and I adored the Last of Us TV show. I'm probably not gonna watch the second season.
I actually went back and re-watched The Last of Us
I know.
TV show
It,
this week.
they rushed those last two episodes. They're terribly rushed.
No, though, no, episode 8 is still a decent enough episode. It's episode 9 that is the biggest
It's
problem.
just
Like, they,
terrible.
they go through that last 2-3 hours of the game
Uh-huh.
in 40 minutes, and it is
Yeah,
awful. No,
they shouldn't have
44
done that.
minutes, I think it is. It's not good.
Uh, Daker says Suckman better than Blowman.
Yeah. Um,
Mm.
but yeah,
Yes,
it's just
yes,
awful.
Kylord, exactly. 28 years later was the sequel to 28 Days Later, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
And that was in 28 Weeks Later and all that stuff. That he wrote that like
Yeah,
years ago, like 2000
Alex
or
Garland and Danny
whatever.
Boyle basically created that in the early 2000s, like 2001, 2002. So he can't say that. And The Last of Us came out in
No.
2013, so it is impossible. It's like
Yeah.
I know
I don't know
28
why
years.
they do this.
I know 28 years later is obviously one that's been waiting for many many years to be made, and
Yeah.
obviously there is a time lapse in The Last of Us of 20 years. But it is a bit ridiculous for Garland to be absolutely on his knees worshipping. Yeah,
Yes, why are they
I'm not
doing
going with
this?
where I was originally going with the on the
Uh-huh.
knees thing. You could also say on the knees for Suckman. Um,
Yep, yep, yep.
oh god, that's also another potential website. And yeah, I would agree with Nana here. Like he
Uh,
took the wind out of the
yes,
sails from Amy Hennig,
exactly.
pushed out a female creator, one that was well revered in the games industry, to take control of Uncharted and made it worse.
Made it way worse. Um, and also, Steven did make me giggle with what he said.
Uh,
Yeah, so.
okay. Anyway, let's carry on with this. So, Garland recalled that his original script for the film involved the virus from 28 Days Later being weaponized against China, but that director Danny Boyle wasn't really interested in that story. Quote, I was thinking, why doesn't he like it? Garland said. And I thought, oh, because it's just not that good. That's the reason. I see the problem. And so then I thought I should be much strange. What? And so then I thought I should be much stranger with this, much odder. Brilliant.
Uh-huh.
This is an interview on a YouTube channel. Transcript not good.
Yeah.
So I came up with a completely different story, which in trust had a Last of Us connection. And this is one of the odd things, is the degree to which we ever exist independently of narratives that precede us. And The Last of Us had such an impact on me that I'm not surprised. Shut up.
Yeah,
Shut up.
Why? Why?
Sorry.
Why are they just...
28 Days Later is very, like, the Rage virus is very much based on the original George A. Romero's, like
Yeah, I thought
Dawn
it
of the
was-
Dead series. Like,
I
if you
thought it
want
was
to go
a very
back,
creative take.
it is a very creative take. Like, I've got no issues with the 28 series. I think
Yeah.
the 28 Days and
I mean,
28 Weeks Later are really good. 28
we know
Weeks
how I
Later, not
feel.
as good as 28 Days, but
But we know how I feel about Killian Murphy. So
yes.
I love it.
I like Robert
He's supposed to
Carlyle,
come
which
back.
is why I like 28
I
Weeks Later.
love... Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Robert Carlyle as well. Yes.
Yeah,
Very
and
much.
I think they're fantastic films, and I'm really looking
I
forward
do,
to
I
28
like-
Years Later. I've been looking forward to it for years. The first trailer to it looks
Supposedly-
amazing.
And supposedly, Killian Murphy is a zombie in that. And
Amazing.
Yeah, supposedly, if you look in the trailer, or the teaser, he's in there.
Yeah, which
So-
wouldn't surprise me, but I just
No.
look. I don't really understand what all of this is about. It's like, why do we have
I
to
know,
sit on
why
the
are
altar
they
of Neil Druckmann being this incredible creator? He's not
stand
that good.
You know that episode of South Park where they were like, smell their own farts?
Yeah, the San Francisco
That's-
one. Yeah, this is
yes.
solely it.
That's... Neil Druckmann is the embodiment of everyone in that episode who was smelling their own farts.
Yeah.
That's just... I just cannot stand him. I can't take 5 minutes of an interview with him.
No, I
You know,
can't
he's
either.
the greatest feminist, and he's the greatest liberal, and he's the greatest... And I'm like, no, you're not. You're a narcissist. You're a
Yeah,
narcissist.
absolutely.
You're doing all this for attention.
Uh,
And
I
you stole attention away from Amy
Amy
Hennig.
Hennig. Yep. I actually watched, like, a while ago, I watched the Last of Us documentary, like, where they were actually trying to get The Last of Us Part 2 out. And
I
my
remember
God,
watching
he
that.
was completely insufferable in that entire thing.
Can't stand
The
it.
thing that I loved the
Cannot.
most about that documentary, because it was a really well created documentary,
It is. It
but
is, and I
actually
do encourage
talking to the
people see it.
people within the studios and the actors themselves, you could tell they had passion for it. And
Oh,
he
yes.
was like, just never really felt like it was anything to
No,
do
he's-
with the people there. It was all about him. It was all about everything he had done.
Yep.
It's just
I just don't have any
grade A
time for him.
narcissist. Yeah. Later in the discussion, Druckmann said he found Garland's words meaningful because he himself had been inspired by 28 Days Later when working on The Last of Us. Of course he did, yeah. Because
They're all just sucking each other off. I'm
Yep.
sorry, but it's true. I
This-
can't stand that.
This is the annoying thing, is Druckmann really, really wants to get into Hollywood,
He does.
doesn't he? And, like, I know
He's
people
not
say
Kojima.
that's what I was just about to say. Everyone says the same thing about Kojima, but at least Kojima is honest about it.
Yes.
Jesus
Yes.
Christ, he pushed out so many actors because they didn't fit with a certain pomp, you know. And why am I David Hayter? He didn't want
Oh,
David
yes.
Hayter in Metal Gear Solid 5 because he wanted Queefer Sutherland. And yes, I said
But
Queefer.
it's like, yeah, no, I don't like him.
Yeah, I know.
And everyone had a blowback on that.
Yeah, even to the point where they've now started actually coming out and going, Kojima's kind of a dick, isn't he? Because he is.
He is, but at least he's honest.
Yeah,
At least he's
he's
authentic.
Yeah, because you look at Death Stranding, what was the first thing he did? Guillermo del Toro,
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen, Lea Seydoux, and Norman Reedus were like the main characters within the game.
Yeah, but he didn't hide that, and I can take, if you want to call it narcissism, I can take that if you're authentic about it. If you're like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, I can totally get on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Neil Druckmann is trying to hide behind, oh, I'm so progressive, I'm so this, I'm so that. Dude, shut the
Yeah.
frick up.
Oh, that was close. That was real close.
Oh, I'm full of tequila, so that was like
I know.
really difficult.
Look, I respect the fact that you got close and stopped yourself. Good effort.
Bueno, Brent.
Bueno.
I have not seen Brent in like 2 weeks. I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He forgot it was a
Good to see
podcast.
you.
Like, fine. that's understandable. It's been 2 weeks since we had one, so it's fine.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Anyway.
But he hasn't been in mine either. But yes.
So, quote, "Let me say this," Garland interjected. "The Last of Us is better than 28 Days. Shut up."
I mean,
Shut up.
Does he mean the TV show? Because I think they're on par.
No, I disagree. I completely disagree. 28 Days Later is so much better than The Last of Us. Like, in terms of a story, Last of Us is decent, but my god, the gameplay is bloody awful.
No, I'm not. Yeah, like if he's talking about the game, absolutely not. The heart that is in the Last of Us TV show, at least in the first half, is absolutely beautiful. It touches me quite deeply. That's what she said. But I love 28 Days Later. I cannot say that I need to stress that. But if I was to compare the two, I'm talking about the TV show with the movie, not the game. Although I did love the game. Don't get me wrong. I love the game. But the TV show was just so next level. Because the actors were passionate, the writers were passionate, and it was just so much emoting.
I don't know. I think they made fundamental changes within the Last of Us TV show to make it more palatable for season 2.
I don't know how they're going to handle season 2. I am not going to
Joel is not Joel, honestly. Joel is not the same.
Oh, no, Joel's... Yeah, no, you're right about that.
He is a beta cucked version of, like, the Joel from the game.
I still like him.
For the TV series, I've got no issues with it to some degree, but, like, it's just not going to feel like a good payoff in the second season when what happens.
Isn't that what I called The Last of Us? Didn't I call that Daddy Issues, the TV show?
Yeah, you did. Because it really is.
It really is.
Yeah, so and the second viewing of it really is that way.
Yeah, I enjoyed Joel, but I do have daddy issues.
My God, there was one unbelievably cringe line that I completely forgot about. Is when they get to Jackson, and they come up against Tommy's new wife, and they're talking about being a commune.
It's like a lawyer.
It's like, it's a commune. Yeah, we're communists. It's like, oh, for God's sake!
Oh, that's so cheesy.
Oh.
Brent says my dad was visiting last week. Oh, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
And then Father's like played fart for 200 points.
Which doesn't work on this channel. Sorry.
No, but that's how I know Danker arrives. Is he arrives with a fart?
Oh, I'm aware. Yeah. Anyway, then, carrying on.
The same without it.
Yes. Yeah, so The Last of Us is better than 28 Days. This is where we were going. The Last of Us is better than 28 Days, or at least the writing is. I'm not going to talk about the directing. That would be a silly thing, so not that. I know what 28 Days is. Sorry.
If he insulted Danny Boyle,
what
would happen to him?
Oh, he'd be murdered.
Oh my gosh.
Well, not literally, but I know what 28 Days is. I know what I did. I know what the process was. The thing about The Last of Us was I was like, oh, this is so much more sophisticated and moving. It was moving. I'm not dissing 28 Days. I'm very much proud of it. It's a nice part of my life. But seriously, Last of Us is another level. So yeah, of course I was influenced here. I was like, shit. Yeah.
That's stupid. I would never, ever do that. I'm sorry. I'm proud of my work.
He clearly is not proud of his work.
I was going to say, you'll never find me. Do I have influences? Yes, of course. Every writer does.
Of course.
Am I going to sit there and, bow down to somebody else? No. Frick, no. I'm very talented. And why? Why would you suck up to somebody? Why? Believe in yourself, dude. That's how I feel.
Anyway, sorry, I'm just doing a little thought exercise here. Just for fun here.
I'm full of tequila. Let's talk about something else.
So this is funnily enough the same person who has been involved as writer on 2024's Civil War movie, which was awful. Men, Devs, Annihilation. He was also involved in the terrible DMC, the Ninja Theory DMC, as a writer.
Oh goodness.
Annoyingly. But he's done great things as well, such as Sunshine, which is another Danny Boyle movie. Mm-hmm. The Good Dread from 2012 with Carl Urban.
Right.
And Ex Machina, which is a freaking amazing movie.
Oh, yeah,
so
it is.
This guy is hit and miss as definitively speaking.
Right.
He does some great stuff, and he does some stinkers. So he should not be pooping on one of his best screenplays.
Yeah, you can't do that, dude. It does not, like, acting humble and docile and all this stuff about your work does not, like, raise your esteem.
No, it doesn't.
You
Right.
have to sell yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to finish off this article because we've got a couple more that we need to go through. So
Yeah, because I'm
Druckmann responded by stating that the characters of David, who was the main antagonist in the winter section of The Last of Us, was directly inspired by the third act of 28 Days Later. Rip off. There's a direct link between the fast infected in 28 Days Later and the infected in Last of Us. It's like they're sick. They're not rising from the dead. They move quickly. There's a direct line between Act 3 of 28 Days Later and maybe it's the Einstein quote of creativity is knowing how to hide your sources. But with Act 3, there's a direct line between that and David in The Last of Us. Nah, screw off.
Dumb.
Anyway, yeah, I'm done with this article. I can't be bothered with the Cuckman Suckman. So